Welcome back. Well, for the mid-cap index, it's up around 1.3%. Sonia was mentioning a lot of the defense stocks which are buzzing ahead of the budget on the possibility of a higher allocation towards that space. But do watch out for two other pockets which always seem to be buzzing ahead of the budget, which is basically the entire railway space. So the likes of Titagar Wagons, RVNL, all of these stocks are higher in today's trading session by anywhere between 2 to 3%. Remember, a lot has already been announced for the railways in the past, so incremental announcements might not be as much. Separately, watch out for the entire fertilizer space because the subsidy figure always becomes important in terms of what is announced in the budget. A couple of the mixed fertilizer space, such as the urea as well as the complex fertilizer manufacturers, all of them are buzzing today. Deepak Fertilizer up around 3.6%. RCF, NFL, those are the PSU lot. They also buzzing around higher anywhere between 4 to 7% for the entire fertilizer space. But let's get back to the frontline stocks. TechM is in focus. In fact, it's the top loser on the Nifty this afternoon, reacting to its Q3 numbers. Reema's here with more. Reema.
Thanks so much for that. So the top line for Tech Mahindra missed street expectations. Constant currency revenue growth at just 0.2% on a quarter-on-quarter basis, lower than estimates of 0.5% and lower than what peers have reported. Remember, companies like Infosys, TCS had more than a 2% growth. HCL Tech had clocked in a near 5% revenue growth. So in comparison, Tech Mahindra's top line growth of 0.2% is fairly muted. There was a furlough impact of 100 basis points in Q3, and there is some pressure in their top clients. So the top line revenues declined by 15% on a year-on-year basis and down 5% on a quarter-on-quarter basis. This is due to headwinds in a couple of clients related to an impact of internal restructuring, and the management expects this impact, the top clients restructuring, to bottom out in Q4. The other problem is even the outlook in the conference call was fairly challenging. The company indicated that some clients have pulled back on discretionary spending. There is delay in decision making. Smaller programs are getting squeezed. Some of the furlough impact will get spilled over into Q4 as well. And now the company is saying that it is time for them to be agile, to be very close to the client. So earlier, if they would do meetings with the clients on a quarterly basis, now they're going to be doing it on a monthly basis to understand how the tech requirements are changing. And the situation is so dynamic and uncertain that it requires them to do perhaps monthly meetings with their clients to understand the tech requirements. So the outlook also is a bit uncertain, and that's what's disappointed the street. Back to you.
Okay, thanks a lot for that. Well, the other stock that we're looking at this afternoon is SRF. It was a good set of numbers coming through from SRF, and the stock has also been quite buoyant actually through the course of the morning. Sonal is here with more details on that. Sonal, over to you.
Thanks a lot for that. Well, yes, good set of numbers. SRF reported numbers just towards the closing hour of trade. And as I said, it was a good set. Revenue of 4%, EBITDA down 5.5%, but margins at 24% was much better than what the street was working with. Profits were also up 1.2%. They announced capex plans yet again. They have a project to set up a dedicated facility to produce 300 million metric tons of SS20 at Dahej at a cost of 110 crore rupees. Project for specialty fluoropolymers at a cost of around 600 crore rupees. This will be funded by a mix of internal accruals and debt as well. Beat this time around was led by the chemical segment. Specialty chemicals performance was strong because of the new capacity, and also the refrigerant gas that benefited from higher export prices and increased domestic volumes as well. Jeffrey says now in their packaging segment, both BOPP and BOPET prices, they are seeing some pressure because of new capacities coming in globally, and this is something that the management had alluded to as well earlier, and that is something that will put pressure on their packaging segment. The conference call is at 3 p.m. today, so we'll get more details in terms of the management commentary as well.
Okay, all right, Sonal, thanks very much for that. That's on SRF. Just want to point out Mangalore Chemicals and Fertilizer as well, since we are talking about earning reactions. Strong numbers coming in for Mangalore Chemicals and Fertilizers. The stock is up 6.5%. So besides the entire agro theme that is playing out ahead of the budget, we do have it reacting to what has been the highest profit in around 13 odd quarters, and the margins which have been the highest in around 8 to 9 quarters as well. That's what Sonal tells us in her analysis of that particular company. Take a short break, but we'll get you more on the markets, more on the economic survey once we're back. Stay tuned.